name is Felicia. If you do not know me, I am a human and civil rights advocate, and I run a nonprofit in women's health called DIVAS Can Manifest org. And thank you for being here. Check the description box for all the ways to get in contact with me. Thank you for booking personal readings. The link is down below. Let's get into today's topic. Today we're getting into what are you projecting? What is going on? This could be in a particular relationship, okay, or this could be like, what image are you projecting? So just take everything as it resonates, and I'll try to leave it as open-ended as possible, but my intentions was a particular projections in a relationship that you may have. But let's get into it, friends. Group 1, you are the Blue Cloud perfume by Ariana Grande. Group 2, you are my new perfume that I got for my birthday, my Arabian perfume oil oud. Okay, this one's called Rahal. And then what does Rahal mean? And then Sapphire is group 3, Team Sapphire, Stream Sapphire by Ed Sheeran right the fuck now. And let's get into, you can also shop Sapphire in Cosmic Intelligence. And I thank you for your support, continued support, and unconditional love, and I'll see you guys in your selection. Hi Group 1, welcome to your selection. So you chose the Blue Cloud perfume by Ariana Grande. I've seen it at Ulta and it smells really good, as the other ones as well. Okay, but anyways, so shout out to Ari, love you. Feel free to send me more perfumes, Ari. If you're watching this, I love you. So let's get into it. We're gonna start with a shadow oracle card. Okay, so what are you projecting? Okay, or what is getting projected in this situation? What's going on? Okay, Group 1, what is going on? Okay, planning and destiny. Okay, LOL. I'm hearing that I think that the toxic expectation is you could be really impatient. I think that a part of this is destined and fated, or this is like inevitable to be going down in this situation. But I think that there is more planning and preparations to be done right now, and the timing is not right. So that is, I think that if you are expecting someone to show up right now, or you're expecting, I'm hearing so this might be related to something that's going on with your home, and I'm hearing that the home is not built yet. Something where you keep, this is literally something, this could be construction that you have going on, and you may be expecting, faster results than than what's available or what is realistic. So I think that that could be toxic. I think that you're lacking patience, or you're frustrated, or you feel like you've been on this road for a long time already. And I think that it's really, I think that you might have expectations of assistance, or expectations of communication. Some of you guys, I think that you might be annoyed. I know that you know that a lot of this has to go down. A lot of planning and preparation has to go down. But I think that some of you guys are, you might have concerns about their ex-partner. I'm also hearing that you could be projecting your ex onto your new partner, and vice versa. But I think that you may have some legitimate concerns about a third party that may make you feel a little strange and weird and uncomfortable, because some of them, I think that a part of this is destined, but I do think that there is some aspects of this where they are improperly or poorly investing in a shadow attachment or an ex. Okay, like something where you feel like they may be prioritizing an ex, or they may be withdrawn because of an ex or something like that. And I think that some of you guys, they may feel like you have a toxic expectation that they should be over their ex or something like that. Especially, I feel like for some of you guys, this ex is like the mother of their children or the father of their children. This ex could be someone that they could literally still be married to or going through divorce proceedings with. And I think that you guys know that the relationships are over with these ex-partners, but it could feel like it's bringing a toxic element into your relationship. Okay, it can be impacting your relationship. Some type of, this projection could deal with some type of unhealthy communication pattern that you have with that you've learned from an ex-partner. I'm hearing that stonewalling happens a lot, or you isolate and retreat a lot, okay? And that's very toxic, and that makes your partners go explore when you withdraw a lot as well. And that's interesting to come up in a projection. And but I also feel like another projection could be that stonewalling happens, or this person, both of you guys may have a hard time expressing yourselves, and so you have, or this person may even, like, you have been expecting something of them, and a lot of them come from a family violence, and it's like a lot of these relationships are total and over. But I think that you still feel burdened by the situation a little bit, drained by the situation a little bit, or you feel like they could be assisting you more, they can be supporting more, they can be doing something more. Okay, is what I'm hearing. What are you projecting? What are you guys projecting? Okay, what are you guys projecting in this connection? What are you projecting? Okay, yeah, I do think that this is a massive transformation that's happening now. I think that this solar plexus energy is the X, is literally you are projecting. This is happening. There is triggering. You are triggered by your ex, or you are triggered by a past situation, okay? This is a past emotional baggage, or a past relationship trauma, a family violence, a poor communication, or a period where you cannot work with this person because the projection may have made you so enraged. I don't know, something happened where you both, or one person, or both of you guys may have become really, really enraged by this projection, that because it triggered a past relationship trauma, a family violence, their ex, or this could even be their ex or something like that. And it's like something that where their ex did something disloyal, to betray, unfaithful, violent, and they projected, or you or them literally projected this, or you still are triggered by this past situation. And you cannot help where you or your partner are on your healing journeys. If you cannot collaborate right now, it's probably because of this, because it's literally for health and safety. With this solar plexus energy, you guys cannot collaborate with one another, because even though this past situation or something that may not even have to do with you is so, it was so triggering that it literally made you or your person, or both of you guys, ill, okay, with the solar plexus triggering. I think that what's nice right now is that there's a lot of transmutation of negative energy that is allowing this to transform. Like, although there is a triggering and a projection happening from the past, I think that you're also transforming very beautifully through the whole thing, and it's because it's destined. And so these are all like stream, the goddess of faith, okay? And this is all literally fated, destined, already have been set in stone. There are no new pathways to this person, and those old pathways have already closed. So this is a situation where you both know that it's inevitable, because both of you guys have already closed pathways to your exes where there has been so much traumatic experience, violence, chaos, destruction, betrayal, disloyalty, deliberate betrayals in your past relationships, where it's clear that those relationships are over and totaled, and that they won't manifest anything. Okay. And I think that that could also be toxic, that your toxic expectations and projections that you're having, where you're literally ill and you're literally doing something, you know, from a mental illness, a sickness, a behavioral health issue, or literally just trying to still recover from trauma. And this means that it doesn't mean that you're ready to be talking, or that you're ready to be in collaboration with this person. And I think that that is toxic, because you both are, you know, you are aware that this situation, you know, you are aware that this has been a violence, a something to be recovered from. You were aware that they were married, that they're married still, or that they have children tied up with someone, or that there's an age gap difference, a difference in lifestyle, culture. So don't do something toxic and you just already know, like, you know what I'm saying, friend? Okay, so let's get more. What are you projecting? Okay, from the archetypes deck, let's grab an archetype. What are you projecting, friend? Okay. Oh my God, the poet, of course, friend. Okay. So I'm hearing that you are very known for your writing, okay, or you're known for expressing soul insights and symbolic language, and this is like magic to your person's ears. It's a cure to their illness or your illness, okay. But I think that for a lot of you guys, this person is the one, a lot of them are doing a lot of the projecting. They're really enraged and haven't been able to let go of some type of traumatic experience that happened from their past. And so this is a psychological lust that keeps them struggling to release the triggering of this third party, or this could be you. Take it how it resonates. But I think that what you write and what you express and your symbolic language is so liberating and soothing, and you have this big role of communicating hopeful messages to very discouraged and troubled people, including yourself. So I think that this has all been a learning lesson and a learning process for everyone. And you have been able, I think that you could possibly, you know, turn your lyric gift into a negative or destructive effect. But I think that ultimately your insights are so much greater than the triggering, that you find a cure for yourself and for others with your hopeful messages and with your insights that help people release energetic disturbances that stop them from being on their path. So I think that you're actually doing really great in this situation, because a lot of you are in this transformation of where you may be discharging this sensation of fear with this triggering, because this ex was like, there was literally a trigger where it's, you know, it created a sensation of fear, some kind of other illness, behavioral health issue, where it was not, you could not collaborate with this person because it was a past situation that still needs to be released, energetic disturbance from past family violence, and you are aware of their family violence. So if you know that they're triggered, don't even bother them, or let them, you know, have their time to themselves. And also you have a way, I think that this is also, you know, where you both end up feeling really creative with one another and inspired by one another. And maybe, you know, this whole triggering situation, this whole projection actually helped this person create something, or you may have created something or wrote something that expressed an insight that is helping cure this person and helping this person release this energetic disturbance. And I think that this is not about, I think that it's not that, you know, when I say that they're struggling to release a past situation, it's not that they're still into this ex. It's literally something harmful happened to them or you, and this whatever triggering happened between the two of you created a sensation of fear that that would happen again. Okay, so you are a new and unfamiliar terrain, and exes, past relationship trauma or baggages, duplicitous people that haven't been discerned fully with the crown chakra energy and the third eye chakra energy, is it could be challenging to release these triggering sensations when there's going to be so much resistance to your past or a former state of being, a state of survival rather than a state of thriving, a state where they are a lot of this triggering and projection that's happening is related to you not having a full scope of what actually happened in a family violence or a past relationship, where there was betrayal, where there was harm that cannot be totally explained. So that is actually, that's also a lot of grief is what I'm hearing. Grief and traumatic experiences that you should not have the toxic expectation that they are ready. That's what I'm hearing, that they're ready. I think that what happened recently is a transformation that was inspired by your soul insights after getting triggered. Okay, this person could have triggered something bad that happened to you as well. Okay, but both of you guys are coming from this family violence or this betrayal bondings. Okay, so I think that what's toxic about it, or what's the negative expectation, is that you know that you're not fully resolved, and you know that they're not fully resolved, and so but you know that there's a fated connection or something that have already signaled to you in your material realm that there's an element of destiny at play. Okay, that if you continue to take those fated and destined and guided steps, that you'll continue to align with this abundant situation, and you just need to have a trust and take a leap of faith daily to reach that intended target. The universe is multitasking. God is a multitasking God. You and your person are mirroring dangerous projections from your past where you have been really discouraged and troubled. And it's not that you don't find fulfillment in your relationship with one another. It's literally when something unresolved from the past gets triggered, that's grief and pain, and is mental illness or behavioral health illness. And I think that it could, I think that a way that you've learned to cope with your traumatic experiences have been through your poetry or your whatever soul insights that you're expressing in a symbolic language or in a symbolic way that liberates you and others. Okay, and that's really special, I think. So this is really beautiful, friend, and I think that's why this relationship is so abundant. Okay, we have the Virgo. Okay, and then what more? Eighth house, transformation and mystery. Like I said, there was something here with this mystery. Okay, I think that something about your hands or someone else's hands could be triggering to you or them. I think that someone is triggered by the way that your hands move, or they're triggered by your extremities, especially if you are ballerinas or you work in movement, aesthetics, modeling, you're women, female forms, the way that your face is shaped and the way that your hands are. I don't know, something happens when people see the beauty in you, and they don't want to admit to themselves that they're envious of like extremities or envious of your like physical appearance in a way, and so they'll do something to like project or something like that. Okay, or make a problem with you out of something that you like. This could be another woman. If this isn't a romantic relationship, I'm getting that this could be women that are envious of your hands, or they're envious of the way that you they're envious of your, some of you guys talk with your hands, and so that's also symbolic, and that's also expressive and also insightful, a non-verbal communication using your hands. Some of you guys actually may know sign language, or you know how to read the braille or something like that. Maybe you guys speak multiple languages as well, and I think that a lot of projections happen when you're speaking in a different language. Some people who don't speak your language, they may, you know, read your sign language or your hand gestures in a, like, they might misinterpret your the way that you express with your hands. Okay. I think that, like, you know, that's also, like, that's a lot of projecting as well, especially the people who don't want to admit that they're creating a conflict with you because of your beauty. Okay. It's like some of them, they'll see your hands, or they'll see they'll see the way that you move as a feminine energy, and that's very triggering to them, to see your hands move. If you are some of you guys, if you're singers as well, you could be, this could be a triggering. Okay, this could be triggering to some people, to hear your singing, or to hear your voice. Some of you guys, your voice is very impactful and big, and you're very well respected. So sometimes when people hear your voice, or they hear a cadence within your voice can be very signaling, or your expression, something about your hand expressions could be very triggering to people, because it alerts them of a danger. It's a signal. Your gestures signal, your symbols signal, and that could be triggering their ex, or triggering, or making them aware that they're triggered by their ex. And this helps them take greater responsibility for themselves, and helps people take greater responsibility of themselves. I think that you are a powerful authority in that way. It's that you actually, some of you guys, these are people that's getting triggered by you, that's projecting onto you. And a lot of it is around your hands, or your body, the way that it moves, especially if you work in aesthetics. If you're a singer, or you're a teacher, or you're a public speaker, your verbal expressions could be signaling people. Maybe you have anthems and mantras and affirmations that you like to repeat, and when people, you know, it signals to people painful memories that they had with you, where they may have gotten disillusioned by you, or they may have been harmed by your symbols. Okay. Or it's just like, it just signals to them that they are like something, their complex with you, their internal struggle with you. Okay. And I think that that's also a projection, a lot of the projection. Some of you guys, this, you know, the projection that's happening is with a celebrity. Okay. This is someone who's in idolatry in society. These are people who may have cult followings or something like that. Celebrities, public figures, these are people who brainwash people a lot. And a lot of people, this projection that's happening with this celebrity as well, is that they'll, like, if you say something to demystify this celebrities, or this big consumeristic image in society, that people are actually really far removed from. These people are actually really brainwashed by this commercialization, or this consumeristic image, or this idol in society, or this public figure. And I think that a lot of people, especially if they're a singer or they make music, a lot of people are projecting you or them, or take it how it resonates. It's that this dangerous projection that you're like this idolatry, or that you're like this consumeristic image, when you're not like this person. They might see your material things, or some people might even compare your beauty to a celebrity, is what I'm hearing. And I think that that also is weird and strange, because a lot of you guys, you're like, I'm just a normal working class folk, or something like that. Or especially if you are up and coming in society, a lot of people will projection could be like, a lot of people could be drawing on a comparison to a celebrity, and how their career went, how their beauty is, how they style themselves, or something. I don't know, something that you've done to maybe disillusion and idolatry. I'm hearing this may be dismantling a brainwashing, where people will, especially if you look like this person, I think it's even more like, it's a strange thing that is happening, where you may look like this person, and they're just like this you know, they keep comparing your image to this person's image or something like that. And this person is a false person is what I'm hearing, okay? Some of you guys, I think that whatever you've expressed in a soul language or in a symbolic way with this alchemist energy has actually gotten into the details around this triggering or this projection that is so triggering. I'm hearing that especially if people compare you to a celebrity, like when they see you, they're triggered because you look like this celebrity, or that you look like you have this favor of a celebrity, or they, you know, they just, it makes them, it triggers their social class. This person, they you know, you definitely trigger them. This celebrity triggers them with you because it triggers their social class issues, or it triggers their, you know, their issues around their beauty, especially if they start looking at your extremities, or if you're very feminine and dainty, they'll feel like you have a privilege of this, that this person, this idolatry or this consumeristic image in society has. But some of you guys are sirens, or you have a lot of traumatic experiences, or you're extremely disadvantaged and you're nothing like this celebrity. Some of these people, they might even be in a higher social class than you, and they may have these toxic expectations. This projection is painful as well, because I think it may be a separation, or it is a period where you feel like you're not, you know, you guys are not investing in one another or something like that. But I think that what happens is that, like, some of them, if they're in a higher social class than you, some of them are very busy, and that's also a very toxic expectation. And so if they give you attention, it's because they really have valued their time with you. So do not miss any of this person's letters. Do not, you know, do not take their time for granted, okay? Especially if they're very busy, very wealthy people, okay? But some of them, they just don't, they have a difference in lifestyle and values than you, because there may be a social class difference, and some of them, they keep expecting you to have this lifestyle and values, or this lifestyle awareness of this celebrity or this consumeristic image of society that they feel that you have the favor of, okay? And that can be also a dangerous projection. Okay, let's get one from the peaceful relationships, and then we'll move into the tarot, okay? Some of you guys, this person, yeah, I definitely think that you're in solitude, because people keep projecting this celebrity or this idolatry. They keep projecting their lifestyle differences onto you as well. And I think that this period of solitude is for learning, and for you to go express creatively about what you learned. This separation definitely is painful, and that's why it arises so much. It triggers the water element, okay? And so a lot of this could have been turbulent. And so this is the projection, especially if it related to some past, or related to you dismantling some brainwashing from a consumeristic image or idolatry, okay? So let's get one. What is the projection in this situation? Yeah, I was getting a little bit, could be age difference as well as a traditional household, okay? So from the peaceful relationships, okay, I think that these people definitely came around and gave you flowers. I think that they definitely came around and honored you, but I think that it might not be realistic to have, like, these relationships might not be moving forward, or these relationships, you know, you feel like this projection is like a riddle, or you feel like it's too much high maintenance, okay, to try to demystify this projection. And I feel like with the Virgo's energy, you know, you are getting into the details with these soul insights. But if this projection is so, I feel like at this point though, like, it's really no hope for them. They might be literally they can't recover from this, you know, this past trauma, or this brainwashing, or this past relationship or family violence. They cannot evolve, some of them, okay? But for others, I think that, you know, they definitely came around and helped you, and may have given you gifts, may have loved you and cared about you, and I think that you love and care about them too, but some of you guys, this is inevitable that this relationship is, that you'll get more details about this this projection. And especially like with the Virgo's energy, this was something, this was a projection that was very destructive. Okay, maybe let's get some more. Okay, shadow aspects. All right, and then we have abandonment. So I think that, these relationships, I think that they're triggering abandonment wounds. Okay, and that's why they actually get abandoned. Okay, isn't that ironic? When you expect abandonment, that's when abandonment happens. Okay, and the shadow aspect doesn't mean that they don't love you. I just think that it triggers so much of their shadow pain and shame of betrayal bonds or their family violence that, this is, some of you guys, this is literally your home with this person, and you guys have a deep psychological relationship. Okay, and it was destiny that brought you guys together, and some type of binding that fated this. Okay, but I think that you were just learning about this person's shadow aspects, and there's a lot of transformation to integrating this shadow. Okay, acknowledging this shadow is helping you integrate it so that you can transform and materialize what you want to manifest. Okay, in this situation, I feel like this shadow aspect is literally pain and shame. This person did not want you to know about this, and they're like, I can't believe that you have discerned my shadow aspects, and now I have to, like, you know everything about me, so I might as well just come home, right? Something where this person tried to hide their past from you. Some of them, they could have tried to hide their past from you because they were so ashamed of how they've been betrayed and how people have not honored them and how people have thrown them away and things of that nature. Some of them, it is this brainwashing of society, or this consumeristic image in society that's also triggering pain and shame. Like I said, if these are strangers, like people that come across your social media, or see you have associations with a celebrity, or see you have a favor of a celebrity or idol in society, this triggers their pain and shame, and how far removed they feel from this consumeristic image, how far removed they feel from this idol and being idolized, and their own triggering their own shadow aspects that they've had with this celebrity or this consumeristic image. Like when people realize, like, I don't know, when people see, it makes them feel like an ill, because they're like, oh, you have the favor of this consumeristic image, and they'll just, like, all of the things, all the envy that they may hold about a stranger or a celebrity. Like, people really become obsessed with celebrities and become obsessed with their life, and it triggers so much of their pain and shame, and their shadow attachments to sex, money, and power even. Okay, or people could literally be projecting this consumeristic image, this idol, or they could even be a false person. Some of them are false people, and they have just been driven by sex, money, and power, and so they project a lot of that onto you as well. They're like, oh, you're just like that consumeristic image, and they're like, I bet you're gonna join the Illuminati, and I bet you're gonna do all this negative things. I bet you're doing witchcraft and stuff like that. So they're seeing you have a huge impact. Some of you guys on your own wave and have your own impact, or you just are some of you guys are literally getting known for your brilliant writing, and so they need to stop projecting that you are something superficial, like this consumeristic image. Or some of them, it's just like, they hated this celebrity, so they low-key hate you too, or something like that. Like something where you really trigger their pain and shame. Okay, so it's not that they don't think that you're great, it's literally that you literally make them feel fear and harm, because of their really, really poor self-esteem. And the reason why they were betrayed so bad is because they didn't have any boundaries, right? It wasn't because their poor self-esteem is a byproduct of their poor boundaries and their attachment style, and they really haven't had proper attachments. Like the reason why a lot of them have PTSD, relationship trauma or something, or the reason why they have they come from a family violence is because they never learned healthy boundaries, or they didn't have healthy boundaries, right? And they just had to learn. And I think that, you know, there were heavy consequences for being emotionally immature and not having any boundaries, okay? So I think, you know, they've since learned those lessons, but they've needed to know that they need to not internalize that around their physical appearance or some other thing that may make them feel inferior, and that it was really just because they didn't have any healthy boundaries and discernment. Everyone, it's not about how you look. There's a threat and harm to everyone, okay? So this person literally might feel sensations of fear with you, okay? Because they might feel danger. They are susceptible to the same, you know, to the same thing that happened from their past, or they just don't want you to know their past or something like that. They really hide, you know, this major pain and shame about themselves, okay? But you free them with your insights, okay? And they want you to fight to freedom, okay? Because they need you, because they're so triggered, okay? So some of you guys, this is your past relationship where someone betrayed you and abandoned you, or they didn't fulfill an obligation with you, okay? Or some of you guys, these are still unresolved matters, and those are toxic expectations that you cannot expect to be resolved, okay? So power one, let's wrap. You know, what is getting triggered? We have the Six of Swords. I definitely think that things are getting better, okay? With the Eight of Pentacles, yes, just still mastering, you know, this past relationship trauma and their coping skills. You have the King of Wands. They're on fire over there about you, okay? They love you, okay? So if you guys have some harsh communication, or you guys have some turbulent water, you guys have some negative experiences happening in your emotional realm within this connection, I definitely think that has not, you know, that has not turned this person off, okay? This person, I'm hearing that no matter how violent you guys may get with one another, it's far less of a dangerous betrayal and infidelity even of their past, okay? You are not a traumatic experience, but you can be triggering, okay? I think that they are just really waiting for your relationship to mature, and the more you express about them, you know, through symbolic language, the more you help them master and discern and learn what to confide in, okay? Especially because they still are learning to trust themselves after getting hurt from something from their past, a pain and shame. They're still mastering a pain and shame that they didn't want you to know about, but you know it anyway, okay? LOL. They didn't want you to know that they were so burdened by pain and shame. They didn't want you to know that this was such a big burden for them, okay? But some of you guys have gotten into the details of this person's psyche and their mind and their shadow impulses, okay? And you can tell when they're triggered is what I'm hearing as well, and the way that you express, you know, through symbols, help them learn when they're triggered as well, and so they can discern, you know, what's the past and what's real, what's now, and what's safe, what's now, okay? Fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, right? What are their instinctual responses when some type of pain and shame is triggered from their past, okay? That's what I'm seeing, Power One. Let me know how this resonates, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye. Hi, Group 2. Welcome to your selection. So you chose Rahal. This is my new perfume that I got for my birthday, and it smells so good. Y'all ain't gonna be ready for me with that one, child. So let's get into it. Let's start with a shadow oracle. What are you guys projecting? What's going on? Cause y'all need to relax. Okay, y'all need to calm down. Everybody all riled up. You got everybody up in arms, friend. You definitely are the trigger. So I think that you could be very stressful to people. Somebody's name that starts with the letter P, B, or S, or F. Someone's name is Faith. We have self-doubt and hope. Okay. I'm hearing you have your toxic expectation. I'm hearing self-doubt. You have a lot of self-doubt. I don't know who, you have a lot of self-doubt or they have a lot of self-doubt, but I'm hearing, friend, don't expect anybody to believe in you. Believe in yourself, okay? And be a walking testament of an underdog or someone that they didn't believe in, and literally and legitimately and sensationally, in my future voice, devour and conquer all odds. This situation, I think that some of you guys are a little bit more involved around this thing. But if you are here and you feel like you are hitting rock bottom, I definitely think that you should reach out to me. Because I have proprietary information at Divas Can Manifest org, where I'm a walking testament of someone who hits rock bottom. Okay, so there's always a way, and that is proprietary information, but only for people who are at risk at Divas Can Manifest org. But I feel like majority of you though, you need to stop expecting people to believe in you. Like some of y'all, if you are on this social media account, or you are like, maybe you're on social media account and you're like trying to grow your account. Maybe you're trying to become a well-endowed social media influencer, right? And some of these people might just see you and you keep showing up and you keep using a lack of money as an excuse not to move forward in life. Don't have a toxic expectation that people are going to hand you anything. You have to earn investments, earn people's support, especially if you have wealthy friends. A lot of them have gotten it out the mud. Like, that's the reason why they are people that we look up to, right? So I think that a big part of you, especially if you have relationships with wealthy people, is not expecting them to give you any handouts, okay? A lot of you, they have actually watched you believe in yourself when nobody believed in you. And they've watched you defy a lot of odds. And I think that people where you feel like if they lose hope in you, or that they don't try in the relationship with you, that could be offensive, I think. And I think that you could project in that way, possibly. For others, I think that this is a situation where it's not that they don't believe in you, they just have a different value around how you should handle your problem. Okay, maybe they have opinions about how you should prioritize yourself. Maybe they have opinions about your approach to a problem that you're having. Some of them, they see you as children, or there's an age difference in the relationship, and they can be patriarchal and traditional in their household, and provider men, okay, that are powerful, and they have a lot of different opinions about how you should be approaching your life, and what you should say and what you should wear. And a lot of them just like, they just see you as this person who's just going to be reckless, or I think that they love you and think that you're a great person, but I think that some of them, they see you as reckless, or they see you as someone who uses a lack of money to, as an excuse not to move forward in life. Some of them, you have a toxic expectation, don't like that they should trust you right away. And a lot of these people, especially if they're wealthy or celebrity or public figure, they have dealt with a lot of people like you, and they have seen a lot of stan accounts, and they've seen a lot of people who love them, and a lot of people who, boisterously praise them. So don't just be coming out the woodworks asking for money or asking for something where you haven't earned anything, okay? You need to earn trust, earn investments, add value, have a value added proposition, be responsible, and think before doing anything reckless. And I think that when you act out, or when you don't invest properly, that shows people that you don't believe in yourself. So I don't think that they want to believe in you if you're showing up and doing things that sabotage yourself. I just think that, especially a lot of them, they can see your fear of your own empowerment, or they can see your self-sabotaging behaviors. Some of you guys do have behavioral health issues, or you do struggle with anxiety and depression. Okay, so I think that this projection is literally, don't expect anybody to believe in you. Don't expect people to trust you right away. I know that what you're doing is, you, especially if you're on a social media account, you're trying to do something benevolent. Maybe you haven't gotten the traction that you wanted yet. Some of you guys, you literally just need to do more learning. Okay, don't just come up and expect people to just immediately buy into you. You have to earn people's trust. You have to add value. You have to give them a reason to support you. People want to know where their dollars are going. People want to buy into a brand. If you're not a brand, we're not a fan. Like, people don't want to just sit up and listen to someone who's just coming around for attention. And that's what a lot of these stan accounts do, or a lot of people coming around looking for opportunities or for something free, when you have to earn trust and earn investment. Okay, and also show that you want it, right? When you're sitting up there doubting yourself, it doesn't make people think that you want it. Okay, so I think that that's also another projection and toxic. Okay, it's toxic expectations. Okay, we have power. Ooh, okay, that was used to be my car, y'all. That used to be my car right there. But I think that, so I think that you are, these could be relationships where the power dynamics could be at play. Like maybe this is a relationship with your father or a parent. This could be a relationship with your boss, or a relationship with wealthy people, celebrity people, people with positions of power already. Okay, some of you guys, you have a position of power as well. Okay, and I think that this person that you're dealing with this person is a wolf. Okay, this person is a go-getter. And so if you're not up tackling the day or jumping on opportunities, they will see that as you doubting yourself and you not believing in yourself, and it makes them not believe in you also. If you are looking over there looking disempowered, then they'll treat you like that. Okay, you have to show up and you have to try. Okay, some of you, especially, even if you're lacking money, or you're lacking the ability to do what you really want to do, this may be a scarcity trauma. A lot of you guys, I'm hearing let go of the drama. Okay, I'm hearing let go of the drama, because that just creates a lot of doubt. Okay, for yourself as well. Okay, I'm hearing let go of the drama, because that also empowers the past. And if these are people who are struggling for power, okay, some of you guys, these are people who are struggling for power. Okay, these are people who represent a past state of existence. This could be an ex. This could be an ex, or this could be the past state of the market. Especially some of you guys are in a marketplace, or you're entering a new industry where there are people who've previously held the positions of power. And so these people are losing power. And I think that these people who are losing power, there's a lot of projections happening between, with these people who are losing power, because it's really showing that they were scarce. Because some of you guys have overcome a scarcity trauma. Like I said, there has been, maybe you guys have hit rock bottom in your life, and this I don't know, this comeback or this redemption is a total change or turn of events. These people who, feels kind of complicated. I hope it's making sense. But I think that, like, some of you guys, if you are you feel like you don't have a position of power yet. I'll get to that in a second, but these are for people who may feel like they have a position of power, or some of you guys, you have come into a position of power recently, and there's a lot of toxic expectations about in this transition of power. This takes a lot of time, okay? This takes a lot of time, and I think that for some of you guys, these people who previously held the positions of power were disillusioned and lost their power. I think that this projection could be, is that people will come around and you might be a new power, and they will expect you to be the same as them, or they're triggered when you are not the same as them, and that's also a projection. Okay, that's a projection from the past, the previous state of existence, the previous state of the marketplace, the people, the actors in the market that held the power before. They are no longer in power. They're losing market share. They're losing importance. They're losing interest. And so that this is a transition where this is a rite of passage, that you are a value added from the previous state of existence. So when the past gets empowered, this is the projection that's happening, is that when they're triggered about the past state of existence, that's different than this value added proposition that you're bringing to transition to power, truthfully. And this is sad for the people who are losing the power, because, well, for one, it'll show that they were scarce and that they really were not empowered. And authentically empowered people are the people who are evolving. And you will tell that the people who are not evolving are the ones who keep projecting your image. Maybe they're literally just copying everything that you do because they were the previous state of existence, and so they want to just struggle for power in that way by copying everything that you do, but it wasn't their true empowerment. They just saw that you were the value added and then tried to mimic your value added strategies and to struggle for power, okay? And some of you guys, you have to fight this. You have to fight these people who are not authentically empowered but may have been in the state of existence before. This could literally be their ex, okay? This could be their ex, or these could be other people, businesses, or authorities who've had power, okay? But your value added makes them lose power. It makes them lose attraction. It makes them lose interest, okay? And you don't doubt yourself around this situation, okay? Yeah, shapeshifters. What did I say? Those people who are struggling for power now, that you've added the value, like now that you've come with some type of value added, they have been projecting your new image to serve their personal agenda, to try to struggle with you for power, to try to stop people from supporting you, okay, or to stop people from believing in you or something like that. But there's something that you've been doing, as I'm hearing a scythe. Some of you guys are using some type of magical tool. Maybe you're using, I'm hearing you might even be doing some type of mirroring with these people that is helping you, and you're just like, or you just do this naturally, you shapeshift naturally, and you move through different levels of dimensions and pull information from a higher state of consciousness to discern how these people are struggling for power and projecting your image after losing their power, or after getting disillusioned for not being authentically empowered, but for someone who just projects your image where you added value and became a person of power. For others, some of you guys, this is a systemic oppression with people who have previously held the positions of power. I've recently posted this on Shorts. Michelle Obama talked about, leaderships outgrowing their positions and not being able to transition power out of a power struggle, out of fears and anxieties about growing old, about egoic power trips and things of that nature. And I feel like this could be something that could be happening in one of your relationships or something like that, okay? That could be a projection that's happening, where these leaderships are not, they're not ready to move on, or they have a fear about their anxiety. They have fears and anxieties about their appearance or growing old. Some of these people, they could be performers or in the public eye, and they have a lot of anxieties about growing old or something like that, or they are struggling for power because some of them, they were the teacher or something like that, and they just haven't been able to let go or something. But for others, these are other people who are just birds, and they just keep projecting your image to try to fight for power in a marketplace, and you have been a skill at and helping, and jumping into another dimension and getting a higher consciousness about how they have been trying to serve a personal agenda, and discerning the personal agenda is what I'm hearing. Discerning the personal agenda. But I think that a lot of you, because you are having to do a lot of back and forth, to like struggle with people who are struggling for power. It's like something where there's a back and forth going on. There's a debate or negotiation. Some of this is literally making you lose a lot of hope, or it's making you doubt yourself. It could be making you doubt yourself, or they're trying to do this intentionally with this projection. Because like, why are you continuously, like, it was clear that you were the value added, and these are just people who have just been trying to serve their personal agenda to struggle for power. It's not that they add value, they just mimic. Okay. And the personal and the private agenda is that people will continue to think that they're the authority when it's really something that they knocked off or stole from you. Okay. Yeah, this Aquarius, yeah, when you were really like, you're really the true visionary is what I'm hearing. Like I said, don't have, especially if some of you guys, if this vision haven't come to light yet, don't have the expectation that people will believe in your vision. Some of you guys, you are already in this position of power because you believed in your own vision, and you discerned how these people have been serving their personal, like having a personal agenda, and how your big vision has been so benevolent and compassionate. It has really disillusioned them. It wasn't about anything materialistic. It wasn't about anything romantic or sexual. This is literally about the vision, where people try to steal your vision to struggle for power. Okay, they were pretending to have a big vision, but we seen that they did not evolve the vision, so that means that it was false. Okay, that means it was false. And I think that this has been a very big dangerous projection, because they'll try to act like you were the one struggling for power, but it was really people who stole aspects of your vision to serve their personal agenda because they may have been the previous state of existence. So let's get into peaceful relations. Let's pull just one card from the peaceful relations. Okay, group 2. Keep believing in yourself no matter where you are. Some of you guys, after nobody believed in you, you made this big vision come to light, and now you're like extremely rewarded with your brand and recognized as the authority. But for others, some of you guys are struggling with, some type of systemic oppression that may be stunting your vision, or is trying to stifle, the spiritual insight, with this Aquarian energy. Something that you're doing is very innovative as well. But I think that you have evolved to a point where there is no more mimicking your innovation, because they don't have the gift to mimic your innovation, a lot of them. Okay, so I think that some of you, people doubted your gift in the past, but now they don't doubt your gift anymore. But for others, this toxic expectation, if your vision has not come to life yet, this toxic expectation is that, oh, you should be believing in me. No, you have to believe in yourself, and don't use a lack of money as an excuse not to move forward in your life. If you are like rock bottom, and you feel like you have no way out, come talk to me. Okay, we protect women and children at risk. But for others, you better figure out some solutions and figure out, find your own power. Empower yourself. Believe in yourself. Okay. Yeah, abandonment. Okay. So I think that, yeah, they definitely, when I guess, like, when they don't show up in the way that, when they don't show up in the way that you are expecting them to show up, that could trigger abandonment wounds. But like I said, don't expect anybody to believe in you. And a part of it is not that they don't believe in you. It's that you don't believe in yourself. It's that you need to build their trust, or you need to show them, that you're working on, you're trying, even if you don't have what you need, that you're trying to make your vision come to life. Okay? So I think that your abandonment wounds is the projection. Okay? And I think that the more that you show up for yourself, the more people show up for you as well. Some of you guys, you've already brought this vision to life, but you've been so abandoned in this process of it becoming, real. And this has been a theme on the channel, is that some of you guys have grown really cold around this vision. Now, while it could be your empire, it could be everything that you've ever wanted, you've just had to deal with so many fake, phony facades, projections, right? People projecting an image, people having a personal agenda when you just had this big, beautiful vision of saving the world or helping the world. And you've been abandoned in so many of your projects and endeavors. Some of you guys have you have a legal matter with, someone that you may have done business with, but they kept projecting so much. They were really there serving their personal agenda, and they abandoned the endeavor of the project or the business agreement, or they folded on a standard of promise. Some of them, they started to act like you were the competition, and started projecting your image and fighting for power. Okay? And this relationship was truly abandoned, especially the ones that if you were at court with them. If you were at court with them, the relationships really got abandoned. They got out of control, projecting your image. And it was really because they felt so inadequate, and they really were feeling inferior to be trying, and so they were really disempowered to be fighting for power, right? And some of them, they were projecting that they were believing in this vision the whole time, right? And then it got to the point where they couldn't project anymore, and so it just went to court, is what I'm hearing, some of it. But it's like this person, I think that what happened in the relationship is that when you came around these people, you got a brilliant new insight, or a brilliant new idea, or it was, it was a big vision. This feels like a business relationship. It was a big vision that you guys had. That you thought that you had with one another, but they were just there for a personal agenda. They just wanted more power, and some of them, they saw you as having more power, especially if you were already existing as the power, or had more money or opportunity to give them. They were definitely there trying to knock off an idea or knock off an insight, and then try to act like you were the competition and fight for power. And some of it got out of control, and it became a fight for power, or it became a fight for the brand, or it became a fight for the recognition around something, or it became a fight for the vision. But it was never their vision, because some of them couldn't evolve it, and when people saw that they couldn't evolve it, they knew that it wasn't theirs. Okay, that they were just there for their personal agenda. That some of them, they were pretentious. They were pretending to have a deep knowledge around something, and they may have actually given you an insight about something, but you were still the one that had a deep knowledge around something. It wasn't that, the relationship got abandoned when you discerned that they were projecting your image, that they were not actually collaborating, that they were actually, they may have helped you with an insight, but you were there feeding them, the information to project back to you whatever image served them in that moment. Does that make sense? But I think that you've had a skill at discerning this, but this power struggle really got the relationship abandoned, is what I'm hearing. Okay, and I think that you went into this situation, and you knew that there was a chance that this person could be false, or you knew that there would be a chance that this person that they would fight for power. Okay, but I think that you went into a situation and saw the beauty in everything, and saw the beauty of the relationship, or saw the potential of the relationship, especially when they brought new ideas, or brought a new flair, or they brought something new to the fold, or brought a new vision to you. But then they were really pretentious. This new insight that they gave you, it was literally just to project your power, project your social image, project your deeper insight, project your deep knowledge. A lot of you guys you're avid readers, you love reading books, or you love information, you love sharing information, and this person has truly been pretentious. Okay, they have really just been looking there for sex, money, and power, looking to bandwagon off of you, looking to ride your wave for success or something like that. Or some of them, you may have started a project together, and then they tried to act like I don't know, it became a fight for the foundation of the project, okay, or something like that. Okay, so let's get a little tarot. Group 2. What is getting projected here? I think that some of you guys, you might have, like, I don't know if I fleshed this out, but some of you guys may have, you feel like you lost the endeavor, lost its value, and you may have built an empire around this. But I think that there was so many people coming around projecting that it was really, they really were there to fight. They were really trying to steal power. They really want you about your spot. They really want you about your #1 spot. Okay. For others, though, some of you guys, you could feel abandoned when these people, they choose to, to support. They could be choosing to support people who fight for power. Okay. And I think that just shows you, like, I think that some of them want to instill doubt in you. Okay. But for others, they do see the sacred, they do see the potential in you. It's just that they need to be met with the right circumstances, especially if they're wealthy. They have been abandoned a lot. They have been, led astray. You can't expect people to trust you or to buy into you right away. You need to believe in yourself and to keep and form a strategy that works for you. Okay, is what I'm hearing. Form a strategy that works for you. And some of you guys did, and you let them know that I believed in myself, and that showed everybody that you were authentically empowered. But there's still that could also just mean that, like, some of these relationships, this has been a long road to you coming into prominence and calling the shots, because some of you guys do call the shots. You are the visionary. It's true that they were just people who were trying to steal at the foundation of this of the legacy, is what I'm hearing. People who were trying to steal at the foundation of the vision, and then trying to turn around and act like it was a competition. But some of you guys were triumphant and becoming #1. Okay, letting everybody know that this was your true vision. Okay. And why these people have been fighting for power, we're starting to discern their hidden motivations, that they didn't really want to help people. That was the disillusionment. It wasn't about sex, money. It wasn't about romance. It wasn't about, it was that these people tried to act like they had power and vision, and that was leading to something. But when these people couldn't evolve, or that it didn't manifest into anything, some of them did lose at court. But for others, some of them chose to support the person who was struggling for power, and you could feel very abandoned or something like that. Okay, but I think that this is just a renewal of your self-love. Okay, choose yourself. Don't make any excuses not to move forward. Just let them know that you keep moving forward. Some of you guys, you're growing rapidly. Okay, where they didn't expect that. Okay, so let's wrap, friends. Okay. The 3 of Cups reverse. Yeah, these are canceled friends. Okay, the Hermit, and then the Queen of Swords reverse. Yeah, that's what I was getting before. Some of you guys, I think that for a lot of you, you riding solo. Okay, you feel there's a lot of abandonment, because some of you guys, you have come into this prominence as a visionary, but I think that there is divinely timed where you have literally, you've grown ice cold since becoming #1. Okay, and a lot of people that used to party with before, a lot of people that used to be cool with before, it's like the mask are falling off. Okay, if you guys are not having fun anymore, you guys are not partying anymore, it's because the relationships have been abandoned or something like that. You don't feel, I think that some of them, you know, they really do see you as ice cold, or you have, you know, you're bitter or resentful about all that you've had to sacrifice to make your vision come to life. Because you really felt like some of you, I guess this is a projection that's making you overly, like, that's making you, and that's triggering your abandonment with the Queen of Swords reversed, because you had to, I think that, adjust your expectations. You've gotten to this point now. Some of these people have watched you. They've watched you through this process of bringing this vision to life, but they didn't do anything to help you. But for others, there is a person who have aligned with your deepest values of honor, and the toxic expectation is that, you know, your abandonment wounds are still triggered, although they honor your deepest values. Okay. And I think that you just need time to reflect and to introspect and to integrate, so that you can discharge these abandonment wounds from the past. Okay, I think that a lot of this is just a temporary depression, but for others, these could represent, you know, a lot of women. I'm hearing Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. A lot of women who could be who were fighting for your vision. They were unfair. Okay, a lot of them were unfair, and a lot of them they were embittered by you being the main character as a visionary. Okay, I think that these relationships with a lot of these women, they're very bitter by you becoming this empire and this visionary, and it was because they were truly struggling for power. If you looking around and everybody's still just projecting your image, that means that they're really struggling for power, and that that the relationships are abandoned, that you guys are not cool. Okay, there's not celebration of your honor. There are people that are literally, you know, they abandoned you when you came into power, is what I'm hearing. Some of them literally abandoned you when you came into power. But for others, the relationships were abandoned, and you have finally discerned that they were abandoned, because if they're still projecting you and not helping you, then that means that they never had any intentions on helping you. They never believed in you from the jump. They never loved you from the jump. And a lot of you've literally just grown ice cold towards them, because you know that they've been sitting there watching you, you know, work blood, sweat, and tears, with your blood, sweat, and tears, making this vision come to life. Okay. Yeah, you're not working with these people. These relationships have been abandoned. The Three of Pentacles. And a lot of them, especially the ones who were struggling for power, you know, they were trying to be third parties, struggling for power, but you have discerned, you know, their private agenda, and they got canceled. I'm hearing that you've actually canceled a lot of people, okay, in this situation. By believing in yourself, you turn the tables on a lot of people. Okay. But for others, if they never helped you in this vision becoming realized, and you knew, and they just keep showing up projecting your image, those are the people who are canceled, and those are the people who were struggling for power. Does that make sense? I hope I'm not saying the same thing over and over again, but I want to make it, you know, I want to make sure I give enough options of how this could resonate, because some of you, they see you this way. Okay. Because you're projecting that they should believe in you, and they're like, no, you need to deal with your own abandonment issues. You can't, you know, you need to, you know, if you can't have a healthy relationship and give and receive, and build trust and friendship, then we can't do that. For others, you know that if this is a big vision, there's a great fortune. Don't be going around expecting trust and friendship all willy-nilly. Okay, don't be expecting to work all together all fast and stuff like that. There are a lot of false people around with private agendas, and they really want that means that they want your power. Okay, that's what I feel, pal, too. I hope that helped. Let me know how this resonates, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. Hi group 3, welcome to your selection. Team Sapphire, Stream Sapphire by Ed Sheeran, and support our efforts to raise money at Cosmic Intelligence as well. Okay, you can find Sapphire and Cosmic Intelligence. Let's hop into what are you projecting? Okay, what are you projecting? Group 3, what are you projecting? Let's see, what are you projecting? We have appreciation and greed. Okay. So this could definitely be a mirroring. This could be a relationship with someone who may be wealthy or someone who has a different lifestyle as you. Even if they're poor, they can still be very greedy and gluttonous and indulgent people. These can be people at the shadow sides of wealth. These could be people at the south end, people who've lost their wealth, people who are doing illegal activity for wealth. Some of these people who they're sick, disabled, mentally ill, or they don't have they're spiritually disconnected. And I think that do not expect these people to be appreciative, greed, and gratitude the way that you are. Okay, don't expect that. Okay, these are people who are indulgent, especially if they have a lot of money and wealth. They could be people who just could not stop chasing sex, money, and power. Okay, but a lot of these people, you know that it reflects their sorrows. You know that it reflects them needing those material things to feel secure. Okay, so don't take it personally. If they do something negative to you, do not take it personally. These people are just struggling with greed and scarcity trauma that cannot evolve. They're just struggling to appreciate what they have, or they're just struggling to find value in it all. Okay, if they need so much of it, that means that it really doesn't mean anything at all. Okay. So let's see what's going on. Let me get a little bit more information. What are you projecting? What's getting projected, group 3? What's getting projected, group 3? What's getting projected, group 3? Ooh, material harvest, like I was getting. Yeah, you guys, I'm hearing the 9 of Cups. Okay, your material harvest is here. You're getting your wish fulfillment. You are getting a great fortune. Okay, and a lot of you guys, you're very appreciative of this great fortune. But I think that you might be, you might have relationships with other people who look like they have a material harvest, or they might look like the 9 of Cups, right? Or you might have memories of love with these people. You might feel fulfillment with these people. But these people do not have the same values around their material harvest that you have around your material harvest. Okay, and I think that could be leading to dangerous projections, okay, or conflict. Is because when you express an enlightenment around an indulgent behavior that someone had, this made them angry. Okay, they grew upset about it. They grew offended by your enlightenment. They may have even started to commit crimes against you, do something subversive, undermine you, violate your human and civil rights. Some of these people are trying to stop you from having economic equality, and it's because these people were really greedy. Okay, especially the ones who try to steal from the less fortunate. Okay, or try to do something harmful to the less fortunate. Some of you guys were less fortunate than these people, and then you became the greatest fortune, or you became a really great fortune. Okay, and you had to fight people. LOL. Okay, you had to fight people. And it's because they were greedy. They didn't want you to have material harvest. They didn't want you to have a home or a nice life. They wanted you to be on the streets. They wanted you to be. They didn't want your hair to be long, friend. Okay, they didn't want your hair to be long. Friend, why your hair can't be long? Okay. These people are like evil spirits, okay? We have the Midas. Entrepreneur or creative ability to turn anything into gold, delights in sharing life's riches. Some of you guys, these people have turned things into gold, but they were greedy in doing this, okay? And that's a dangerous projection, is that these people were actually hoarders, indulgent, obsessed with losing their wealth. And you are a Midas touch. Something that your material harvest is here because you have the Midas touch. Some of you would definitely benefit from watching group 2. And I think that, you know, this is beautiful. And I think that you're happy as hell because you're a winner regardless. But some of them, I think that what could be happening in this situation, and I think that you might have a lot of memories of love with these people, but I think that the imbalance is that you could be attaching onto the memories or to the fond moments or to what was invested in the relationships a lot more than they are. And it's because they may have had the privilege of doing this a lot. They have a lot of these kinds of interactions and exchanges, and they have the privilege of, you know, material harvest and stuff like that. And so you coming into it, you're very humble, you're very grateful, you're very you might really fondly attach onto memories when they really hold those to be a superficial value. And so don't start forming attachment issues with people, especially if you're coming around people who have material harvests, or they're wealthy people, endowed people. You know, they might have they might be entrepreneurial spirits, they might be creative abilities, they may be skilled at doing something, but it's not that some of them are really not the true gift. And that's leading to a lot of projections. But I think that, like, a defensiveness, but I think that there are people here who they have this material harvest that, you know, they're really not grateful for. Okay, some of them, it was just given to them. For others, they've had certain privileges that have not, you know, where they have not had to sacrifice to have material harvest. For others, nothing is ever enough for them, especially if they come from scarcity trauma and they may have material harvest now. Nothing is ever enough for them. That means that they're at the south end, and that there's never enough sex, money, and power. Okay, so when they have these fond moments with you, when they have these experiences with you, when you guys may share a material harvest with each other, or, you know, you have memories with one another, right? They're greedy, and they don't value, you know, they place a superficial value on that, while you might be placing a deep and meaningful and, you know, true bonding value onto it. And I think that that's also projecting and expecting them to be grateful like you, okay? So some of them, you know, they're offended that you are this, you know, this Midas. You are this creative or entrepreneurial ability, because it disillusions them as not being the true gift, or them not really having the entrepreneur or creative ability, okay? We have conjunction, we have fusion and energy. I do think that for a lot of you, though, these are relationships that actually are harmonious. They are synergetic relationships, though, but I think that these people do reflect, you will have what you desire out of the relationship. If you want marriage from this person, you will have that. If you want just this person to be gang, 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 they'll be gang, gang, gang. Okay, but I think that you are helping these people understand their value, how they have been greedy or indulgent, or how they have been doing something out of a tendency to indulge, or a tendency of a privilege, and how that could be harmful to you or harmful to the relationship. Some of them, this is their drug addiction, gambling addictions that they just really cannot control. But for others, it could be just, you know, some of them just don't, you know, they're not, this could be just you having an attachment issue, and that's a big projection. But for others, you guys are finding a synergetic relationship, a co-creational relationship that's actually leading to you guys functioning and relating and loving in a different way. And so you sharing your enlightenment with these people is actually turning into a wish fulfillment, and helping them realize it's not that they are not, some of them are not bad people. It's just that they've been doing something out of a tendency to indulge, or they've been, they haven't had abundant people like you coming around with all this spiritual value, and then you teaching them to really value these memories, value the time spent, value the love that's shared between two people, because there could be another time where the love is lost. There could be another time where you're disillusioned as saying that it was superficial or not meaningful, right? Or having to lose something or someone that's important to you could really show you how much it means to you. And I think that some of these people, they've lost you, or they have maybe there was a cycle where they lost you and that taught them to appreciate you more, okay? And I think that is where that's the discernment, that's the healing, that's the cure, is that they've had this tendency to indulge or to do something with a superficial value, but that was not a spiritual system that served them. And they have actually been in a lot of sorrows in this lifestyle of indulgence and doing something out of that's been greedy. And it's really because they have a poor self-esteem and feel like they need it, right? Some of them, you just realize that they're doing something greedy that you might perceive as greedy, but it's really a low self-esteem, something that they're doing to overcompensate for their low self-esteem. But some people, these people they're indulgent. They don't have no shame, okay? And they continue to indulge even if it's at your expense, okay? But I really do see, a positive situation. But let's get a message from the peaceful relationships. I think that these are safer relationships because there's a fusion happening in energetic alignment where they need to work through their shadow attachments that may reflect imbalances of greed. And where they may have had a conflict with you for expressing values of gratitude and minimalism and sustainability. And some of you, you might have been giving them unsolicited advice, but for some of them this was just your approach to your life, or they just had a problem with the way that you talk and the way that you live. Your values, your beliefs and ideas and feelings, how it expressed, was offensive to people because it was enlightened around values of greed. But this ultimately liberated these people, okay, so they can be more happy and stop doing that superficial shit. Okay, so let's get a peaceful relations message. I hope that made sense, pal 3. What's being projected? Okay, what's getting projected? Because we're getting down to the bottom of it, okay? Oh, power struggle. Okay, and then look, that's crazy because it kind of want to show itself to me, so I kind of want to take both of them, because this feels like a continuation of power 2. Okay, I think that what's interesting in this situation is kind of like I kind of hit the nail on the head in this situation. I think that, there's an energetic disturbance because there's a displacement, okay? This is a projection issue. This is a defense mechanism. Directing strong emotions and frustrations towards a person or object that doesn't feel threatening. This allows you to satisfy an impulse to react, but you don't risk significant consequences, okay? I think that, like I said, these are safer relationships. This is their id, part of their psyche that you're understanding. This person, they do have a power struggle with you because, like I said, some of these people could have their own they could have their own material harvest. And you coming around as this Midas touch, you are someone who could be very intimidating, okay? But you as this Midas, your entrepreneur or creative ability that has turned into gold, you are getting your wish fulfillment of a material harvest, and you are delighting and sharing life's riches. And this enlightenment that you have, this delight that you share, it reflects an enlightenment that you have that is so appreciative about your material harvest. people see your entrepreneurial creative abilities, and you because you are Midas, this is gold. So it arises strong emotions and could arise frustrations. You are indeed reaching your intended target of turning into gold. You are amazing. You satisfy so much for these people. You are literally their emotional satisfaction and their wish fulfillment. But this conflict that you have with this person that's projecting, this is a power struggle. I think that this, it doesn't have to be, it could just literally be disagreement, because you guys have this, this synergetic relationship where you reflect back to them their where they have been valuing something opposing of you. And some of you guys, these could be a lot of men as well, okay? But, you could be, because you are golden and have this opposing value, it can make them frustrated as well, okay? I'm also getting that your people, even if these are not romantic partners, your entrepreneurial or creative ability that's turning into gold and bringing you a material harvest is very threatening to people who did not really have a vision. Okay, that means that they're going out of business, or that people will not find them. You disillusion them, or you make them look like a failure. You make them look like they don't have anything. You make them look, especially if you're doing something innovative, you make them look insignificant. Okay, these people who don't have a it's clear that they are not, like, you are clearly the Midas, right? You call the shots. But this is threatening people who were around before you, maybe doing something similar, or maybe related but not the same, or some of these people were literally just not related at all. Seeing your gold is frustrating. You're like, oh my God, look at how successful that person is. I wish I could be so successful like them. And you're like, look, I sacrifice, or you start sharing your life's riches, and let them know that this was a product of me sacrificing and losing and having a lot of doubt, and stuff like that. And I think that could be really delighting, but it's also intimidating to see this gold as well, and especially to men. And you, like I said, you are reaching your intended target of being golden. You are a star. But these people need to, they displace, because you are gold. That's very intimidating to everybody, okay? And I think that's where you can have compassion and spiritual empathy, because, but I think that some of it actually does, I think that it doesn't have significant consequences what these people are doing. These people, these relationships feel like emotional satisfaction, so they don't risk significant consequences with this displacement. It's like they will delight in life's riches and your golden project, and have like this, and have this emotional satisfaction with you, right? And they'll love it. They'll delight in it too. But it's not, I don't think, it's not they are delighting. It's just that, it's like, I think that you might find you don't like that they displace, because it may like inspire a power struggle with people who are not the entrepreneurial ability or the creative ability. Okay. I think that some people who may have material harvest as well, it may, like I said, it may inspire their competition or something like that. But it's really not, they really don't have gold. They're really just people who are projecting you, especially if you're here from PAL 2. They're just people who are less intimidating, less threatening, okay? And I think that this is your wish fulfillment, because these people, they won't risk significant consequences. With this displacement, it's really just their own power struggle getting projected. If they'll do something, I don't know what they could possibly be doing, but I think that some of it might not even be evident. Their displacement is not evident, like especially it's just their impulse to react to your golden project. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just their impulse to react to it. It could be, like I said, this is it reaches its intended target frame, but it's powerful, it's electric. Where you're doing, as a Midas, you're electric, and people are delighting in it. but you know, it serves, but it could also, you know, be frustrating as well. Some of you guys, if you feel like you've come to an impasse in this relationship, these people just maybe just feel too threatened, okay? And that they definitely need to go with something, you know, a little bit, that just means that they're a lower standard in quality. They need to go with a lower standard in quality because they feel too threatened, they're too defensive and need to displace, okay? That's why they have, like, you know, it might be their impulses, you know, to go explore other options, but I think that it really does come across as greedy, because some of them, they will delight in your golden project, but they'll still displace, or they'll still go explore other options at your expense. It's like something where it actually does inspire competition is what I'm hearing, okay? I don't know how that could be happening, but you can let me know in the comments. I think it does inspire, you know, it can feel threatening to you, because you're like, why are you, you know, if they're a little frustrated. But I think that this is just their own pain and shame that has nothing to do with you, you know. But a lot of it is their tendency to do this, their tendency to go see the competition or something like that, to go see what the competition is up to. Some of them, they might disagree with something that you're saying, and so it's not that they agree with the competition. It's not that they agree. These people are just less intimidating and less, you know, less threatening than you. And it's clear that they're not gold. It's clear that they weren't, some of it is clear that they copied you. It's clear that they're just like your son. These bitches are my sons and I don't want custody. It's clear that they're your dupe, they're your mini-me and stuff like that, okay? And these people, they will never risk their relationship, or they will never risk you for them, is what I'm hearing. They will never risk you for them. It's just that they may also have a disagreement with you, because they also reflect those same values of greed that the competition that's in a power struggle will reflect, okay? If these are romantic partners that left you, or they started gossiping, or they folded and jumped on the other team, just know that they were just a lower standard in quality, that they were struggling for power because you turned into gold and they did not feel good enough, okay? But for most of you though, I really just feel like, let's get the tarot, but I feel like a lot of you guys, you know, this is just their impulsive reaction, that they use this displacement for, but they will never risk, you know, with significant, because they know that it will lead to significant consequences, something where they'll never risk a third party or something like that, because they know that you will know about it or something like that, because you're into energy or something like that. They say you'll know about it, okay? And they know that that'll mean a big consequence, okay? LOL. But you know, I do think that for a lot of you guys though, this power struggle was just like you coming in as this new entrepreneur. Creative ability is so exciting because you brought something new to the fold, or what was already existing. And so a lot of people have been delighting in this, and I think that you too delight in the relationships. There's emotional satisfaction, but this power struggle will happen. It just draws on the power dynamics of any relationship, and I do feel like these relationships are safer. But let's get the tarot to see what else is getting projected here, you guys, okay? Yeah, I kind of just think that they're lacking clarity about something, and that means that they'll have an impulsive reaction to something, but a lot of them have already, you know, they satisfy your energetic requirement is what I'm hearing. Your energetic requirement, they pass, they are safe. Render safe for Divas Can Manifest. Or yeah, this person's fair, justice card. They're very fair, and even if they disagree with you on something, yeah, this is your 10 of Cups friend. This is like, this person is everything. This is home. The 6 of Pentacles. Yeah, this person knows how to give and receive, and especially if they have their, you know, like I say, you'll move into relationships that are more abundant. Some of you guys, if you are here for money manifestations, you guys should definitely watch day 2. But I think that if you're worried about your relationships with other women, some of you, you're like, oh my God, every woman that I meet always try to, you know, be in a power struggle or something like that. Friend, you won't have to worry about that, because these other women that you're moving into relationships with, they have their own entrepreneurial spirits, they have their own creative abilities, they have their own partners, they have their own material harvest. And so these relationships are emotional satisfaction. They passed, honey. Yes, yes, they did. LOL. And I think that, I think your past, sisterhood wounds, possibly, where people were in a power struggle, they were really competition for your sex, money, and power. They were just greedy, especially because some of you guys are so appreciative of whatever sex, money, and power you get. You're not someone who over expands the self. And these people, they try to over expand themselves, or they wanted sex, money, and power so much they didn't even get it, right? But for others, especially if this is a romantic partner, you guys, this person is very fair. And even if you guys have a different culture, lifestyle, or value, or they just, they have a tendency to indulge, they have a tendency to have options, they have a tendency to have a bunch of bitches projecting the same image that they want. Like, oh, if a man, I like brunettes, green eyes, send me 10 bitches with to be 10 bitches with brown hair, with brunette hair and green eyes, okay? And that's just their tendency for them to just have all these, the privilege, or the abundance of options, or something like that. But for others, they really do have this especially where they might disagree, but they know that it's a delighting in life's riches. Like, you can't disagree with the delight that we're having right now. You cannot disagree with the delight, friend. I don't care what you saying, but it also, you have to hold space for these people where there's they evolve into a more abundant spiritual system. You share insights that help them appreciate their material harvest more. Especially if these were already privileged people. Like I said, some of you guys are having, you might be having, fulfilling relationships with people from, all different kinds of walks of life, different cultural groups, different languages, and that's a new emotional experience. But, some of it is just their tendency to have, these, kind of behaviors or tendencies. I don't know but I think that some of it could be a power struggle in your relationship, where you may have felt like there was an impasse in the relationship. But for some of you guys, I don't see an impasse. I see that this is moving forward nicely. They're giving and receiving. They're being fair and balanced. This is the 10 of Cups, happily ever after for a lot of y'all, okay? But there was a period of power struggle or resistance, where there may have been competition, people who were fighting for control, but there could have also been that you and this person drawing on your power dynamic. Sorry if I'm getting jumbled. I lost my train of thought, but I think that the power dynamics of this relationship are very harmonious with this conjunction. This relationship is conjuncting and releasing this resistance, especially if there was competition. We know that those people were just copycats, projecting your image to get attention, to get, but I think that they do offer perspective. And they're less threatening, and I think that this person really just projects their strong emotions onto people who project their image, so that they can discern where they have been greedy, or where they have been not holding themselves accountable for something, where they disagree with something. It offers them perspective. It gives them communication. Displacing actually does serve you. But I think that this person, they're fair, and they don't ignore your perspective. They don't cross your boundary. This is a safer kind of projection, okay? They won't risk, with significant consequences, to act on any of these, impulses that they have to displace their strong emotions for you onto someone weaker and less fortunate, okay? Previously in your past, you might have, past relationship trauma of infidelity, where people were projecting your image, and your partner fell for it, or they went and had sex with them, or there's some strange, with a false person. And I think that sometimes it could have been so devastating, because it was like a conventional thing, a predictable thing, but it was also just like it was like some of you have relationship traumas where your worst nightmares came to pass, especially about third parties who were who did not have the entrepreneurial creative ability and that made them less threatening. I'm also hearing your beauty makes you really threatening as well. Okay, so people project onto your beauty a lot, and they try to act like these, more ugly people are safer than you, or that they're more trustworthy than you, but those really are the snakes in the grass. And especially if they come around projecting your image and they're aware of you, like, you know nothing good will come from that situation. So these people in this pile with this projection, they're a lot more smart than the people of the past who fell for, something false. But for others, some of you are coming from deliberate betrayals, deliberate disloyal people, where they were so intimidated and defensive. They were just a lower standard in quality, so they went with a lower standard in quality and displaced. And I know you might feel triggered by those abandonment wounds, and that could be creating projection issues as well. I feel like a lot of you guys are here from Pal 2, even the whole video. But I think that this is just highlighting power dynamics in your past relationship, and where people abused their power in the past with a power struggle, or with people who were competing with you and just projecting your image, and because they too were defensive, they just chose something that was weaker and less fortunate. But these relationships, these people actually delight in their relationship with you, and it just shows you guys mirror your different values and bounce ideas off of each other and learn from each other. This is your 10 of Cups, okay? This is the fusion, and this is the perfect energetic alignment, the perfect state of enlightenment, okay? The nirvana. You are reaching nirvana in your relationships, and this is so beautiful. I love that, Pal 3. I hope that this was offering you some insight. Let me know how this resonates. Don't forget to shop Sapphire and Cosmic Intelligence if you enjoyed this message. But I'll see you guys next time. Bye.